We are in the month of Adar, and Purim is just around the corner. What should we be focusing on during these holy days heading into Purim and on Purim itself? The Shem Yishmuel tells us that the month of Adar is parallel to another month on the Jewish calendar, the month of Elul. They're both preparatory months. However, they prepare us in different ways. Elul prepares us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur through fear. We blow the shofar, we say special prayers, we do tshuva. This prepares us for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which are days of awe. The month of Adar also prepares us, but in a different way. It prepares us for the month of Nisan. It prepares us through love. The month of Nisan celebrates our coming together as a nation, being formed as a nation, and that comes to its climax on the holiday of Passover, where we celebrate our exodus and our being formed into a nation. So the month of Adar prepares us for Nisan and Passover through love, through bringing us together as a community, through us strengthening our inclusion of others around us. And this is pointed to in the mitzvot of the holiday of Purim. We give mishloach manot, we give meal items food items to each other. We give presents to the poor. We have a seuda, a celebratory seuda, during which we all come together as a community. That strengthens our love and our inclusion for each other, and that really prepares us for the month of Nisan. The first of Nisan actually is the Rosh Hashanah from the Torah. So both holidays, both months are preparatory months for a Rosh Hashanah, but they just prepare us in different ways. Now this value of being as inclusive as possible, alongside our investment and our intentionality around fear of God, is pointed to in our Parsha. Last week's Parsha, Parshat Truma, opened up discussing multiple vessels of the Mishkan. This points to the need for holy spaces, spaces in which we can come close to Hashem and cultivate fear of Hashem. This week's Parsha opens up describing the clothing of the Kohen. This clothing enables the Kohen to serve God in the best way possible, to cultivate fear of God. At the end of these descriptions, which point to the need for holy spaces, which is the Mishkan, and holy individuals, which is the Kohen, we have a description of one more vessel, the Mizbeach HaKetoret, the incense altar. And the commentators ask, why did the Torah wait all the way till the end of our Parsha to describe the incense altar? It seems out of place. It should have been with the other kelim, the other vessels, in Parshat Truma, last week's Parsha. Perhaps the explanation points to this need for inclusion alongside our great fear of God and our intentionality around that. Parshat Truma with its vessels and Parshat Tetzaveh with its garments of the Kohen point to the need for fear of Hashem. And the Mizbeach HaKetoret, at the conclusion of these, reminds us to be inclusive. How so? The Ketoret had 11 spices. One of those spices did not smell so good. This was the chelbonah. And the sages say, why did the Torah ask us to include that spice nevertheless? This points to the need to include others who may not smell as good to us, symbolically, in our community, in our service of God. Sometimes individuals around us, they're foreign to us, or they might not perform the commandments the way that we do. We should nevertheless be inclusive to them, include them among all the other spices. This need for inclusion appears at the end of all our discussions on holy spaces and holy individuals to remind us that being inclusive and loving to other people is of greatest value. So during Elul, we put a lot of energy into fear of Hashem, preparing ourselves for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. During Adar, we should be as serious with our love for each other, with being inclusive to each other, with drawing others close who may be far from Judaism, who maybe feel lonely or apart from our community. If we do this, we'll prepare ourselves during this month in the greatest of ways so that we can celebrate our exodus and our closeness to Hashem during Passover in the month of Nisan. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom and a Purim Sameach.